tēnā mai anō rā tātou hoki tonu mai e tātou mā, tātou i wahona ka huri mai nei ki roto ki ngā kōrero a Hawaikirangi. Tēnā hara mai, tēnā nau hara mai roto i tēnei o ngā pare ārau, te pare ārau, te ngahuru māwaru, te ngahuru māwaru o ngā pare ārau, o te marama toru, rua mano, rua ngahuru mātahi. Katahi anō ka pahure atu te hawhe i te toru, te haurua mai te toru rānei, e tātou mā, tō tātou wā no kia tātou ko au, arā i a tātou ko au i te hōtaka nei i a Hawaikirangi. Nā karakau au i te tino ki te atu ai. Kai whea i roto i tētahi taha ki ngā heha nei, ngā me ki i roto i te tēpu nei, e tahi hanganga matawā nei, i roto i ki te atu ana i ngā kaha, ngā pakari o te āhua ki te reo. Te reo, kōrero te reo, waiata hane i hane. Hoi anō, kāre te tahi taha i te tino haere nei i roto i tēnei wā tonu nei. Hoi anō, e kene pēr haere tonu nei āhai. Haere tonu nei me taku whai atu i ngā ahuatanga, i ngā kōrero i roto Hawaikirangi ki tēnei rā. No reira nā e tātou mā, tēnā nau mai, hara mai, tēnā tātou huri ake mai. Ki roto ki ngā kōrero i roto i tēnei rā, e whai tonu atu ana i ngā kuini o te puoro ki Ingimangu. Tai atu anō i ngā wahine toa, ngā kuini rānei o roto a Aotearoa, o roto anō te tiritiri o te moana. Tai atu anō rā hoki ki te pēne ki a tahu i ngā kōrero katoa. Nā, kai te ki te mai rā tātou, kāre kore, ka hore anō kua hau anake o te pēne i a tahu, kua tai mai roto i tēnei rā. Tērā wiki he kai kōrero anō, te wiki kai muri atu, he kai kōrero anō e hara mai ana. Hoi, te pēne, kua waiho atu e mātau. Kua waiho atu e mātau ki nei wiki e rua, kia pahure atu e nei wiki, nā ka kau mai te pēne ki roto. Hoi anō, ko tā mātau i kite atu nei, no te mea ētahi o te pēne, karakau e tāi ana te hara mai, i roto i te wā nei, i roto i te wā, mai i te toru o ngā haora o te pare ārau, he āhua ua, kia hara mai tahi, ngā tahi, te waru o te pēne e hara mai ana i roto i tēnei rā, kāre tāi ana i roto i te rāhina mai. Nā reira, āhua raru ai mātau ki te hara mai, āhua raru anō ai mātau ki te tā, kia tā muatia. Pēnā i taiho anō ai rā i a mātau te tā mua i tēnei o ngā hōtaka, i tēnei o ngā whakangahautanga o te pēne. Tēnā kua tai. Kua tai rā i roto i tērā. Hoi anō i roto i tēnei wā nei, i te mea rahu ki kārekau i tā mua, i taiho kia tā mua, kārekau i taiho anō hoki kia hara mai te pēne. Te katoa. Ana kārekau au āhau i pīrangi ki te whakangahau atu te pēne i roto Hawaikirangi ki te kore te whā i kore ai he tai kia hara mai. Kare au i pīrangi i tērā i hia atu āhau i te waru katoa. No reira, i mea atu āhau, kia rua wiki, Ma mata no o roto RFM whakaata Wairarapa. Whakarite I te haere ai I te tahiwā kia tāmua hi atu ai. Ko te mea ke ngā mahi, ngā tūranga mahi o ngā tāngata nei. Nā I roto I te rāhina ka umai ētahi wā tūranga mahi anō ana. Ētahi o rātai toko whā o rātai karakau I tai ho kia haramai. Nā kātahi ka tai atu ki te wā ki te whakaharatai. Ana I roto I tērā wā ki te whakaharatai whakamutunga o mua mai I te whakangahau atu o mātau ki roto ki te taupuni pāho. Ana, ka huihui atu mātau I te take me ngā take o te kore tae o te whā kia haramai. Ana, ka tahi anō mātau ka whakaetia kia kore ai. Kia kore ai. Ka re ahau I tino pīrangi atu I te tua, I te toko whā kia kore ai. Rātau toko whā e haramai ai ki roto ki te whakangahau. Amutu. Karakau e haramai ana I roto I tēnei rā. Karakau e whakangahau ana. Hoi anō kia haere atu anō ai, haere tonu atu anō ai, ngā kōrero me ngā whakāturanga e whakāturi atu ana I roto Hawaikirangi I ngā kuini o te puoro ki ngimangu, tai atu anō rā hoki I ngā wahine toa ngā kuini rā nei, o Aotearoa I roto I te puoro ki ngimangu, ne? I roto I tēnei rā. Me tahi o ngā kōrero. Hoi anō, ko tērā tonu te kōrero I roto I tēnei wā. Ki roto ki nei wiki e rua, haere tonu ai ngā whakaharatau. Ko te mea ke, ko tētahi mea ke anō I ki te atu ai e āhau. I roto I te kaha o te pēne, I roto I tēnei wā, ka tino eke rātau ki te taumata o rātau. Tai atu anō ki ngā mea tūruki, ne? Ngā mea tūruki, tai atu anō ai a rātau tō rātau kaha kia pau mai ai e ni wiki e rua, ne? No reira, kawa e wareware atu, ētahi toko whā, he tāngata, he pou tūruki. Kai te pai? Ana ētahi toko whā, no roto mai anō I te pēne, tino whea ko nei rātau ki te puoro ki ngimangu. No reira, e tātau mā, pai ki atu kia waiho, kia tauwhanga atu, kia pahure mai ai, I nei wiki e rua, ka tahi ka haramai. Nā reira te kotahi o te marama whā, ko tērā te rā, te kotahi o te marama whā, whakangahau ai ki roto nei. Hoi anō, tērā whakangahau, ka tāmuahia. Ka tāmuahia. Whai tō mua atu ai te tā atu o tērā ngā hōtaka. Ana, katahi ka ki te mai rā e tātau. Nā rere karakau I te whakangahau mea nei. Atinana atu nei, hoi anō, kai te, pērā tonu anu ai, tā mātau āhua o te whakangahau atu. Kai te pai? No reira, koia tērā ngā tū āhuatanga, e ahuana mai nā tātau I roto I tēnei wā tonu ki te mea tuatahi o ngā wahine, hai whakātu atu. Hai a tēnā wiki he wahine tino tō rangapū I roto I a mātau. Mahi ngā tahi anō me mātau a tērā wiki e hara mai ana. I roto I te taha ki te tō rangapū, I roto I te taha anō ki ngā āhuatanga hapū. Tino wahine hapū. Ana, e hara mai ana ki te kōrero I ētahi tū āhuatanga o te taha ki te wahine, ne? Ko ia e hara mai ai rā, kai a tērā wiki. Te wiki a muri atu, ko te rua rānei o ngā wahine rā. Ko rā iwa tahi anō, hai kōrero atu I ne mea. No te mea ko rā tau kē rā, ne? Ngā mea tohunga I rā mea. Ngā wahine nā. Ne? Ngā wahine nā. Ko rātau ke te tino tohunga I rā mea. Nari rā I kōrero atu ai e ahau ētahi. E kahana te mātaki mai. i a Hawaikirangi, ana, i Wairarapa whakata ana, ka mea tiu anu ai e a hau rātau, whaiwahi anu ai mātau te kōrero. Ai, ki te kōrero i roto Hawaikirangi. Ai, no reira, kia kotahi rānei, kia rua rānei o aua wahine te toko ruara. Tētahi mai i roto i te whāngai pēpi, mai roto i te tautiaki, te taumanaki ko ngahu. Ko ia tērā, he wahine kai roto hai akoranga, hai akonga aroha mai, i roto i tētahi kōhi taumanaki atu, whakatipu, aha nei o ngā kupu, hai whakāhua atu i tērā tūāhua o te whakatupu ko ngahu. Tautiaki, taumanaki ko ngahu. Tai ata no rā i tērā ti wahine, e hara mai ai te kōrero i te taha ki te wahine kia tātou mea hau, kia tātou kua hau, ko tētahi mai i roto he pau whakaako, kura tuarua, ana he akonga. Ana, ko ia no tētahi e kahana te mātaki mai i a Hawaikirangi i roto i ngā rā. Ana, e tino pai ana ki te hara mai, ki te kōrero mai ki a tātou kuai. Ai, no reira rā e tātou. Kare e mene i roto i tēnei rā, kai te whainoa hai ki te tuku whakamue miti ki tō tātou rungarawa, tō tātou kuau rungarawa, tō tātou mātou rungarawa, e tautiaki atu ana i a tātou mātou, e taumana ki atu ana no i a tātou mātou i ngā wā katoa, i te ao, i te pō. E no reira tātou, kia ino i rā tātou. Te Iāwe i atua, e whakamue miti ana i a koe i roto i tēnei wā, ko tēnei i a hai wa Kaea. Kua hoki mai anō ki roto Hawaikirangi ki te kawe mai i te kaupapa, ki te kawe mai i te kaupapa o te rā, ki te kawe mai i ngā ahiwatanga me ngā kōrero o roto i tēnei rā, pare a rau, hei kawe mai. Whakamue miti atu nā, e a hau, ko koe, e tō tātou kuau rungarawa, tō tātou mātou rungarawa, i te mea nā ko koe, e tino whaiwāhi ana ki a mātou i ngā wā katoa. E tino whaiwāhi ana ko koe. Ko tētahi tino mea no tēnā ki a mātou. Tai atu anō hoki ki a mātou o tahu te pēni, tai atu anō rā ki tō mātou pūtea moni tau toko, i atu tahu Trust Tahu Investments Limited. Mātou katoa, ka whai atu ki a Hawaikirangi, kia tūtū mai, a Hawaikirangi, kia kawe mai anō i ngā kōrero a tahu, pēne, me ngā āhuatanga o roto i te taonga nei. I te taonga tiku iho nei, i te pōro ki ngi mangu e kōrero a kene. E no reira, whakamue miti whakanui. Te ingoa te iehua, hai kurori anō i a koe. Ake. Āmene.
Are you ready? 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 When the roll is called out, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime. switches, accept changes, work with the formula, do what I have to do, and call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never clock out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When you are willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you tell. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. A lioness is on the rise, don't ever have no doubt. When the roll is called up, we'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of time. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me, never, anytime. Lioness is on the run. Don't you ever yeah. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. A lioness is on the run. Ready to roll. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. I'm ready when you're ready. Yeah. Don't you ever have doubt.
Ai, tino a
When you
tāhia.
are willing to
Tino a
serve,
tāhia.
we have room to observe, to see if you
Tino a tāhia. Queen Africa tērā. Lioness on the rise. Sorry about that. The little glitch in there. And yeah, so welcome back to Hawaikirangi at 11 minutes to 4 e tātou mā on the 18th, Thursday the 18th. And last week was Thursday the 10th. Yeah, so we've got the 18th today, and yeah, I've got two other monitors here. Don't seem to be working on the audition side of the desk, but I'm going to carry on through here with the show, and yeah, just Queen Africa there. So I'm a little concerned about the desk at the moment. Hopefully, we're coming through loud and clear to people out there in radio and TV land. Wairarapa whakata, of course, getting full coverage of this show of Hawaikirangi. Such an important show. And apologies again. Look, that'll be the last time I'll have to apologise, because we've just worked out the way we have to be able to start our session jams within the studio, our studio jams of Tahu, the band. They're going to start in 2 weeks' time, but we may end up in another time slot e tātou mā. We might end up in another time slot or pre-recording. But I think, yeah, either way, it's going to be just like a pre-record, because we will do it at a time when workers in the band, well, they're all workers, but everyone in the band can make it. On Monday we had lots of different schedules come up that ruined it for 4 of the band members on Monday before we had whakaharatai, before we had practice on Monday night. And look, I wasn't happy to come in and do the studio jam with only 4 of us. And also the 4 were quite unhappy that they couldn't make it either. And also where they're at the moment, they will be back at their peak. They're sort of dropped off, you know. They've got a bit of a peak, a bit of a quality and standard they've been able to get to. Don't forget, 4 of them are assistant members, and the other 4 are part of the proper band of Tahu. And that's because the others haven't been able to make it. We've got 1 member still to come in, and he's coming from Wellington. And we've got another member, He Wahine, and she's going to come in from Palmerston. And we've got another 3 that's the brass section. They're still yet to come in. We've also got the who else are we waiting for? We've also got the Tahitian and Hawaiian drummer, percussion person. We've got a percussion, but we haven't got the Hawaiian and Tahitian drums in yet. And that's going to be a big part of some of our reggae music. We're going to add the drums. We're going to add, there'll be lots of different natural sounds of, musical sounds of our tribal roots of Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua. Don't forget Tahu. Tahu, the name of the band, stands for Tahu of Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua of the Western Division, and that's where we are, broadcasting from Wairarapa ki Tararua. And Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua of the Western Division. Tahu, he tahu kahurangi, he tahu pū mau. Darlings. Yep, darlings. That's also another meaning of the word tahu. And then, of course, you have te tahu tahu o te miti, he tino tunu haere, he prai. He tino parauri haere o te miti, te rātu āhua o te miti, he tino prai nei, he tino tunu nei. Nā reira, he sizzling hot, he sizzling hot, tā te pēne, e ki ake nei, ki roto ki te rao ngā ingoa, ki roto ki te ingoa i a tahu. He tino ingoa tahu, he tino ingoa ariki, e kōrero atu ana i a hau tērā i tērā wiki. So, tahu is also an ingoa ariki, or an ariki name, and a very special ariki name. One of the most special and widely used ariki names in our heritage. So Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua was always going to be a very special one. And of course, if we know some of the kōrero Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua himself, he was prophesied in Raiatea to come within the line of Tūrate Matua. And he became the last line of Tūrate Matua, and the line of the Uretārewa of Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua. So there you go, prophesied to become the new heir, and a very special and powerful new heir to the Uretārewa of Tūrate Matua of Tāwhaki o Te Awa. Okay, so Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua became the last line of Te Awa, of our line of Te Awa, of Tāwhaki. So, very special name, that one. But we use the name for the band, names and meanings that we wanted to associate with Tahu, for Tahu Mākāka Nui Matua of the Western Division, tahu o te miti. Pērā tonu anō ki mātau, tā mātau e ki nei. Tai atu anō ki tērā mea o te tahu kahurangi. Te tahu kahurangi, te tahu pūmau, e rā mea katoa. He tino maka, e rā e rā mea katoa. Awa, katakata tērā ingoa. Engari, he tino, tino nui ke tērā ingoa. Kia mātau o te pēne. Ahakoa katakata he tino mea kia mātau. He tino ingoa anō kia mātau. Yeah, so, still carrying on through and looking at the Queenie and the Wahine Toa. Sorry about that one. I actually think I finished that one a little too early. And I actually took it off air before it had even finished. I think it goes into another side of the track. I think it's behind the scenes side of the track. Ruined that track right at the end there, but that's okay. At least we got to hear the song. Lioness on the Rise, what a wicked song, hey, wicked song. At 3 minutes to 4, toru meniti ki te whao ngā haora. E tātou mā, tēnei e hara mai nei tētahi o aua wahine e kōrero hia atu ana ko i anō tētahi o te wahine ka kia nei. Ko tētahi o te tino i roto i te motu. Ko i anō tētahi o ngā wahine. Hai tā mātau. Ne? Hai tā mātau. Ko i anō, mai i roto tauranga moana. Ko i anō tērā i te tino i roto i te tino kia mātau. Me tahi anō mai i roto i te puoro kingi mangu magic powder, ko ia te tino. Ana, ko tērā rāno i ki te atuai, he tino kahanuna anō. That's, mai tauranga, Ria Hall. Look, we are going to get some more airtime from them and get to hear some more of their music. So coming right up is Ria with one of her waiata. And we'll get to listen to that very soon. E tātou mā. So we have some real talented wahine out there, and but we just thought in Tūtahu Trust Tahu Investments Limited that most really could do a lot more. Most could really do a lot more. When we look at the potential that's there, there's so much more that they could do. Ria's been in reggae for a long time, but she went out of reggae. Not really out of reggae, but still in reggae, but just in different shades of the music, like within the soul and funk and gospel side of music. Still doing reggae, you might as well say, but different shades. So different flavours as well. And so she's come back into the roots of reggae and is looking, well, you might as well say she's cut back in successfully. And by the way we have looked at her, she seems to have been doing that very successfully, because she, to us, is the runner-up, the not quite the number one, you know, and she's only just come back in, I think, about middle of the year last year or sometime after that. Rhea Hall cut back into roots reggae. And the same with Magic Powder. She hasn't really left, but has played a lot of the different shades of the genre that make up reggae. Funk, gospel, soul, you know, all that sort of thing. Yeah. So here's Rhea Hall e Tatauma as we look to go into 2 minutes past 4. And yeah, so e Tatauma, that's why the band isn't here today. Yeah, I'm not too happy with that either, and I know a lot of you guys and girls are not either. And but we've worked it out. Either I'm going to get to pre-record us, or we're going to find a whole new time slot. I'm hoping it's a whole new time slot, and a time slot where everyone can make it. It's just that it'll have to be at 7 p.m. And I'll have to make it, of course, because I'm, you know, the main he kaikaua I te kōrero I roto I Hawaikirangi, ia Hawaikirangi. So, yeah. Yeah, we just have to find another time, get us all there, and that's it. Our jams will start. They're supposed to have already started in February, so that's how late we're running. It's supposed to start about mid-February. So that was around between the 16th and a couple of weeks later, and we didn't end up starting. We had a whole lot of disruptions with work, and then there was lots of other stuff too with the band. Quality and standard sort of dropped off a bit. So, yeah, I don't mind bringing that through for us too. I mean, if we can be on here and we can categorise and criticise, because we've become an authority in reggae music in the country, so can we also do the same for our own music. And we are going to. We're going to take up gigs from next month, and work those gigs through as the first gigs of Tahu the band, and actually debrief those gigs. So, and you'll get to hear all that kōrero. You'll get to take note of all that kōrero, because I will film it from practice site and bring it into the studio and play it for you, and you'll see how everything went down. You'll also get copies of the gigs, so you'll get us doing a few songs from those gigs, and you'll hear our debrief. So yeah, it's not... Yeah, and don't forget, we're only just starting. This is a band that's just started out. I've just brought the band in. It became Tahu, and we've moved forward quite significantly. We've now got 2 bands, one Pouturuki band and one Whakatangi Puoro ki Ingi Mangu pēne, tētahi pēnana, tētahi mea tūturu. And hey, we can't moan, but in 2 weeks we're doing it, and the radio and I, and Whakaata Wairarapa and I, are currently meeting on it, and we're going to sort out what we're going to do with it. It's going to be a pre-record of our jam sessions in the studio, or we just get a whole new time for the show, take that time, and everyone gets to start hearing us, and we get to jam in the studio. And that's going to be once or twice a month. Because of how slow we've been on that, I've got aims to make it twice a month. That's what I'm aiming to do. And because we'll have the new time of 7 o'clock at night, everyone will be able to make it. See, because that's after everyone's work time. So, hey, we're okay. We're doing all right. And Tahu's doing well. Don't be concerned. and our new reggae band brought out because of a lot of the difficulties that reggae is having out there in the reggae industry. To try and help out a lot of those that are having difficulties out there, and actually add a lot more quality, add a lot more strength to the reggae in the country, and that's Tahu. Tahu of Tahu Maka Kanui Matua of the Western Division, Tahu o te tahu miti tērā tū āhua. Te wera hoki o te āhua, te wera hoki pērā i te prae o te miti o roto i te wāhi tahu. Me te tahu kahurangi, ko mātau anō tērā o tō mātau pini. Yeah, so 2 weeks' time, definitely, be here, ready to view on Wairarapa Whakata, and to hear us on the radio, on Radio Arrow FM 92.7, and get a listen to us in there. We'll definitely be doing the jams, and because we've run so slow on it, I'm going to make sure that we jam twice in a month, every month from here on. And look, e tātauma, it's going to be great fun. We're going to enjoy it. We're just going to be out to relax and enjoy and have a good jam with you, and show you a bit of what the new reggae band, the new reggae style in the country has got to offer reggae music in the reggae world. We also hope to go world, but we'll see about that once we've made our footing in the country. Once we've built a good foundation, we'll start to talk around things like that, and it sounds like we will agree to go into the 27 nations of Tahu Maka Kanui Matua right across the world first. We may play a few major centres of reggae centres, a few reggae centres and major gigs during that time, but our main aim would be to take our music into the nations of descent of Tahu Maka Kanui Matua. Okay, also coming up next week, we've got Wahine, who will come and speak with us about the Wahine side of things. We're going to talk about some of those issues we raised a few weeks ago. And it's good to get a Wahine's point of view, you know, because they're the experts on that, not me, and not any other guy. You know, the Wahine have, and this particular Wahine, she's quite political, and she does a lot of work with us. And we enjoy her work, working with us, and she's very hapu driven, and we like her around. She's a really good influence and a really good authority on the things she has to talk about. So look out for her next week. She'll come in and talk to us. And then we have the two ladies I spoke about. One's a midwife. She's a studying midwife, and another one is a studying secondary school kaiako teacher. And she also does te reo and all that sort of thing, and tikanga. So, yeah, they both have a huge interest in tikanga, especially the midwifery woman. She's especially interested in te taha wairua. So, yeah, you know, the spiritual side of things and our culture, and, you know, all of that complex stuff, all of that complicated stuff. Yeah, so that'll be good to hear. And that's in a couple of weeks. Now, the week after that, I'm hoping we have our new band member with us. So that's 3 weeks away. And so in that 3 weeks away, what I'm hoping also is that we might be able to get him ready. I'll bring him into the radio, and we'll have an exclusive with him. He's been in the industry for a long time, played in a reggae band. And he's a very knowledgeable, very experienced person in the industry, and great to have him with us. So that's 3 weeks away, and we will bring him into the studio. One of my good buddies, and he's whanaunga really, and so I'll bring him in, and we'll have a bit of a kōrero about everything he's been doing and what he's hoping to achieve with Tahu. And I just think he wants to build on what he's already done. He sees tahu as a way of doing that. And yeah, it'd be just great to hear from him and hear what he wants to achieve with the band, because I think it'll be a real eye-opener for people. And hopefully we can get him in for the second gig of this month, the second session in the studio, jam session of tahu. And yeah, he can jam with us in that one, and hopefully we'll get to do another... I've already got the second set ready. It's ready to go, and we should have already started it. But we haven't started it. We're still on the first set, and that came from January. Now we should be 1, 2, 3. So we're 3 sets slow. 3 sets too slow. 3 sets of 3 to 5 songs too slow. And that's our jam sessions, but we've got it down in 2 weeks at Tatauma, in 2 weeks' time, and so we'll catch up with all the other sets and we'll bring them in after that. But so the week after our new person comes in, I still can't release his name until he gets here, because people always, people have got a habit of buzzing him or emailing him or contacting him on the web or, things like that, and it's just... It becomes a real hassle when you got fan bases everywhere, and thousands of people are always contacting you, all at a time or in a day, let alone an hour. Yeah, that can be really hard to manage. So, yeah, we've got to act as a sort of an EA for him and try to keep that limited by keeping it confidential. Of course, it'll take off once he comes in to talk to me and starts coming to practice and starts to jam with us. So lots to come. Even though the band isn't playing today, you will definitely see them in 2 weeks, and we may have a new time slot at Tatauma. It'll be 7 o'clock on one of these days, and I'm guessing it'll be 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. 7 o'clock on a Wednesday. It won't be a Thursday night, I'm too busy, but at the moment I've got some time free from 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, and I think most of them will go by me. And I think because of the time slot, all it has to be is 7 o'clock, and then most of them will make it. We might have 1 or 2 that might not make it, but we can push them. Because these jam sessions are really important, because it'll bring together everything that we've been talking about on the show. We've got lots more talking to do, but me being so busy, aroha mai, everybody. Yeah, I'm so sorry. My apologies. Aroha mai. I'm being so busy myself. Getting around to talk to people is always hard to bring into the show, so I should have had lots of other people come into the show by now and join in the talks, but it's mostly been me. Aroha mai. But soon, more of those people will start to show up, and we'll start to get more talking going on the show around different issues and different matters, and even the music. We'll get to talk more and perhaps even debate more some of the areas of the music that we want to strengthen in the country and that we should strengthen in the country. And I don't think there's a better way to do it than on Hawaikirangi, e Tatauma, Ria Hall, e haere tonu ake nei. Kahuri. Ria ho tērā, me tona waiata, cause and effect, cause and effect. Tino pai tērā o ngā waiata, tino pai kia mātau, tino pai anō kia tērā o ngā waiata, cause and effect, I te ngahuru māwhitu, meniti, I te whao ngā haora e tātou mā, me tō tātou haere tonu ai I runga I ngā kōrero o te wā, ki Hawaikirangi, e whai atu ana I te taha ki te wahine ki roto ki tēnei o ngā puoro. He tino a tāhua. Ana ētahi o ngā ahuatanga he tino a tāhua. Kai roto I ngā wā ki te whakangahau atu o tahu pēne. He wā kōrero. Nā reira ngā wahine I roto I te pēne I a tahu, kōrero atu anō ai I te taha ki te wahine ki te puoro. Anō hoki. Anō hoki. Rā tau kōrero atu ai I ne mea. So, yeah, it's going to be choice. Having the jam sessions live in the studio. Actually, yeah, I might try to just get a different time slot, and that will ensure that we're live still, and that our wahine during our talk time, we have a little talk time, usually after the second waiata. We have a couple of minutes song, we have a break or ad, and then come back into the band and we have a little bit of a kōrero. Whatever those kaupapa are going to be, I'm pretty sure some of those kaupapa will be te taha ki te wahine I roto I te puoro nei. And so, yeah, it's going to be great. Our wahine will get to talk about that side of things, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, so action-packed. Everything's happening on Hawaikirangi very, very soon, and we'll be able to bring all that kōrero to a close and really grow off that foundation from all that kōrero from the beginning of the show. And yeah, so aroha mai, apologies from me. And then there's the band as well. The band hasn't been able to get into the studio and stuff like that. Some of them have been pretty apologetic at practices too, because sometimes, yeah, as you well know, through February up into March, people dropped off their standard, and those were mainly poituruki. So even though they've been a big help, they sort of dropped off their standard, and it's the schedules. Just like what happened this week, more busy schedules got piled on. And so, yeah, there's nothing we can do about that as a band. We just have to try and manage it, and that's what we're trying to do. And I guess you're getting it all live, you know. Trying to manage a band and to try and run it on this show as well is a real, it's a real difficult thing. It's not that stressful. I have to admit, it might look a bit like we're stressed out and, struggling to do this and do that, but it's not true. We're not struggling to do anything. But yeah, you have to manage these types of things, and I think coming up in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start to recognise that we are managing it really well. It's just not showing out there, but as it starts to show out there that we are managing things really well, you'll start to appreciate the work that we have been putting in for Tahu, the band, and the reggae band, the new reggae band on the block. And all of the hard work we keep putting into to our music, to our work, everything. Some of us got kids like me. I've got 3, and all that sort of thing. All those sorts of things come into play, And busy schedules are busy schedules. You've got to learn to manage all those things and juggle them all. And because now I'm going to be pushing to make sure that that we come into that we come into, when we start to do the jam sessions in the studio, that we actually come in well prepared and ready to jam every time, and that we actually are ready to do that twice a month. When the gigs come up, that we're ready to put all our debriefs on air and all that sort of thing, that we're ready to just hammer it, and hammer it really well, because being the brutally honest leader that I am, we're likely to talk about every little thing. We're likely to pick on everything and any little thing that I can pick on and that they can pick on. We will do it. So you'll enjoy those debriefs, and all those other bands out there will be quite happy, because they'll see that we don't think we're that perfect either. But we will get there, because we've got a way of getting there. Most of them haven't. So hopefully what we've provided on Hawaikirangi is a basis for people to follow in order to ensure that they can one day play perfect reggae. So I'm okay, because I can. And I've played perfect reggae for years, and know how to do that now, know how to engineer my sound, everything like that. I can record my music, all of that sort of thing. But yeah, there's a lot more to it, there's a lot more to it. So I'm always open to learning. We're always all open to learning. And so our debriefs are going to be nothing more but a part of that sort of process, where we get to learn more about each other and grow as a band. And I think as soon as you stop growing, well, big props, big props. So that's us. Huri atu tātou kuau ki tērā atu hei waiata kia tātou kuau i roto i tēnei wā. Kei te ruangahuru mā whā meneti mai te whā Jack Cuban e tātou, featuring Buju Banton, Vigilante, e haere tonu ake nei. Ahuri.
Greatest sound called Jack Cuban, with Ray Cuban, Green, Felix and Scarred. We did not talk too tough sound dead. Buju Banton on the microphone, Al Cuban. Wanna respect big. Let's go. I saw it. Lord of mercy. You like Ray Cuban and respect his style. Live on Miami, but you're not a refugee. Dayati Cuban, hear me now. Hablamos español poquito, sí. No spread no rumor. Buju Banton is the hardcore cooler. Sound like Jack Cuban sound. No call me name, no spread no rumor, man of vigilante. Cuban no mix up with CIA. Lock the station, no information, we suspect foul play. Cuban no mix up with CIA. Right, Cuban boss a 45 and not an AK. Them have the shells in the courthouse on display. One the Banton testify and Buju alla no way. In a Cuba, shot fire every day. Well, them say sentence him. No wait another day. Fidel Castro alone can bust the AK. We come and dance and we'll lip and lyrics must spray. Hear me now. Tell the post to them. Tell them for thanks, we know. Even if feel no bad like how we on the try move, we know. Even if feeling no wicked like how we on the run come rush, we know. Even if feeling no bad like how we on the run come test, we know. Even if feeling no wicked like how we well no sound a chat. I big up them chest. I choose Jack Cuban. Them never ready yet. We tell pussy step aside with no disrespect to Jamaicans and Cubans. Some boy and a threat. Turn them right away top for we pattern are the best. And this is Buju Banton and a pussy can't test. We jump on the rhythm and you know we God bless. Ray Cuban a bulletproof vest. Well no call me name, no spread no rumor, man of vigilante. And Cuban no mix up with CI. Go lock your station, no information, bad boy say foul play. And Cuban no mix up with CIA. When guns start back, people start walk. Hablamos español, in a Spanish them attack. Them set to Buju Banton, yeah, the chief of staff. How do you do? And then the general laugh. Come como estas, bien gracias. Y tú, people them know say it's but true.
Tino pai tērā e tātou mā, a kai te ruangahuru mā whitu meniti mai I te whā. I think I played the wrong song there, but kai te pai. Yeah, prior to that I was looking at a different song to play, but it's okay. It's okay. We've got some more wahine to come. And another one, including another one from Etana. Yeah, and we've got a lot. Yeah, so much more we can look at in terms of the women's reggae going on. Magic Paora coming up e tātou mā as we look at what's ahead. Yeah, lots more on women's reggae. And yeah, women things. We're no experts, are we, guys? We're no experts. So we've got to leave it to the experts to the greater degree we do. And but I'm enjoying the awesome time that we're able to have in terms of being able to share in a lot of different styles, women's reggae at its best in the world and also in New Zealand. Hey, we can't moan. And even though we haven't had a lot of the kōrero come out yet, hey, coming up is a whole load of it for you. From the band, and also finally from the band, and the girls in there, and also from some of our guest speakers that we will have. I will introduce them as time goes on. And next Thursday will be our first one. The other two may either come in together or one at a time. So the other will have the following week come in with the person, basically a world star already. This person coming in, he definitely is world class at what he does with his music, and so he's coming in hot, and that's hopefully what we'll all be doing very, very soon as we rock through a lot of the gigs. We've got gigs everywhere to come, and we'll start as soon as we start to touch on Wellington gigs and Auckland gigs, we'll be starting to hit the big time around about then. Hopefully by the end of this year we have our album come through. It's a 10-song album. We've already got that ready to go. We just have to basically have the band match the necessity of the album, and then away we will go with that. That'll be our first album, so we'll be looking to gig that around the country pretty quickly, probably by about the end of the year, close to the end of the year, we'll be ready to do that. And of course, in the next couple of years to come. So we've got a fair few originals for the band to perform. Once the brassies start with us, it's the saxophone, trombone and trumpet. Once they start with us, you will start to see a lot of our originals come out, because they definitely need that. They need the Hawaiian and Tahitian drums and all the rest of the band in there. The percussion, the drums, the keys. I'm going to have 2 keyboardists set in the end, and basically 2 percussionists. And there's of course the brassies. Backing vocals are the band as well. We've got about 4 or 5 backing vocals, so lots of close harmonies can happen in there. E tātou mā, it's all happening here on Hawaikirangi. Magic Powder. E haere tonu a kene ki a tātou kahuri.
All night, he wants to run forever. Hold tight, hold tight. When we get some time together, flow along with me. Low light, that's when it's looking better. Tonight, when we get some time together, flow along with me. And I know that your rivers run deep.
Ka paira, tērā a Magic Powder, no, a Magic Powder, me tērā ngā waiata nā 660 Rivers, tērā o ngā waiata i tā ruatiai, i tā me te waiata tia tuai, e Magic Powder i roto i tēnei wā, tainua ki te ruangahuru mā whā meni ki te rima, e tātou mā e pau haere ana te wā. Hoi anō haere tonua i ngā wahine nei. Ki te whakangahau, ki te kawi i a tātou, ki roto ki e nei haora. Kia tai atu anō i ngā kai kōrero, ngā pū kōrero, hara mai ana, e mau mai ana, e heri mai ana anō hoki. I o rātau, hai kawe kōrero i roto i ngā wā, ne? I roto anō hoki i ngā tū huatanga ki te taha ki te wahine. Yes, so we have lots coming up there. Heaps, eh? heaps. And plus some of the band's originals, we're going to start to bring those out. Most of them will come out during the time of the brassies beginning with us. We're still looking at brassies. I've got one saxophonist, but he's had to leave the country. He's an Aussie now, and will come back, and we'll look at joining us then. But that's a bit later on in the year. So we're looking at one trumpeter as well. I've enjoyed jamming with brassies everywhere. I love the brass, but I've never had the time to actually take on the brass that well and get really good at it, so I just left it. And yeah, so once they start up with us, you'll get to unless we use the keys, unless we use the keyboard to operate that side of things, of which we can do. But I would rather, the proper brass sound. It adds to that awesomeness of, the feel, all that sort of thing, and the authentic, colorings that you can get from beautiful brass instrumentalist jamming in a reggae feel, in a reggae color and shade. It's awesome, eh? So we will look forward to that, and most of our songs are pretty at the moment, they're songs that look to capture an African island, yes, an African Pacifica feel going on in there, and specifically tahu, especially the songs in the reo, specifically tahu. So there's a real tahu culture thing going on in there, but with an African, Pacifica, tahu maka kanui matua foundation. Okay? So, even though the African side of things adds to the foundation, it's going to be, a real sight to behold, and also a real, not just eye-opener, but hopefully an ear-opener. And we will look to take our music to the country, especially to Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch as time goes on. Yeah, let's hope COVID is kind to us. We don't want any more hold-ups e tātou ma. For Tahu the band, we don't want any more hold-ups. And we especially want to be able to, look at bringing everything to you before the program has to come to a close. Of course, we might continue the program on into 2022, and so we'll just go to our Pūtau Muni Tautoko, go to Tūtahu Trust, Tahu Investments Limited, our funder, our funding people there, our support finance, and we will look to carry the show on, so we can continue on to follow on everything that's happening for the band, and you'll get to see most things live, interviews, everything that happens with the band, changes, non-changes, debriefs, everything. You will get to see everything that happens in the background, recording, albums, talks on our albums, because it won't be too long, probably after another 2 years, depending on the success of the first album. We will look to do another album. First of all, we've got the 3 singles to release, so we've still got those to release this year. The first one is not even ready to release yet, but we will bring that to you. That's going to be, actually, the name of the album is All the Glory, and so the first song we're going to release nationwide will be All the Glory. The song after that is Hey, so we'll release that. Hey is, of course, that mean love song that we started off in the ska, and now I believe it's jazz funk. It's now gone into jazz funk, and is beautiful. It's looking beautiful, and just like All the Glory, it's a beautifully put together waiata, and hopefully before too long we can have the band jam those songs for you. And also there is Reggae in Your Reggae. Reggae in Your Reggae. That is the third waiata we're going to release to you, the public. Those are the singles, the first 3 songs that we're going to be recording, in fact. And then we'll record the other 7 as well and bring you the album, hopefully, by early December this year. Let's see how we go. It's going to be interesting, and I think that once we bring that album, that'll be sort of the thing that will tell, am I true to my word, are we good enough to be exactly what we're aiming to be? That'll be up to you to judge, you the public, you the people out there. And I think just that you listen to our music and that you buy copies of our album and listen to our music would be the best way to show us how to do that. Also, click on our pages and stuff like that. We've got lots and lots of marketing going to start to happen soon, especially as we start gigging. The band will start to market and promote everywhere. This has just been the start of it. And also mixing in the show Hawaikirangi, a show where we bring you the raw of everything. And everything in the raw, everything behind the scenes, and so we'll get all that to you. So at the moment, coming up to that very, very climactic point in time where we start to actually hear the music and hear the goodness that we've been talking about and the professionalism and all of that tohungatanga that goes into reggae music that is not widely used out there. Playing the whole of the music, that's what I do really, really well. I play the whole of the music. So, e tatauma, it's going to be a really, really neat journey. And actually, going into 2022 will be really, really interesting because you'll start to see how the band begins to grow and how the audience begins to grow for the band, for Tahu. And, hey, I can see us growing probably 20-fold in the next 2 months. Given that the show finishes probably around October somewhere, we will probably start up again probably in November and continue to follow the band right through the release of the album. Our first major gigs, those are yet to come, our first major gigs. Who knows? We could be in the next One Love concert. Who knows? And Reggae on the River, there's those big annual gigs worldwide. Some of those might call on us. California Roots, all those sorts of jams, Montreux. Hey, who knows? But we will certainly take some of those. And we've got to move with the band. Timing is important. We've got to move with the band, and if the band's ready, then away we will go. Just like when we said how we want to make our footing in the country, it's New Zealand we want to capture first. We want to be able to meet the needs of our domestic public. and really play to their taste in the country, being a band that comes from the roots of this country, comes from Tahumaka Kanui Matua of the Te Awa of Moai Hapu, some of the ancient roots in this country. And so, yeah, e tātou mā. Looking forward to everything. Coming up now, kai te ngahuru mātoru meniti ki te rima, Janine. Tēnei e whai ake nei. Janine tērā me steam as a bubble. I like Janine. She is mean. She's like a Naya Bingu warrior. And yeah, that's why I like Janine. She's got that sort of style. She's got that warrior style. Wahine warrior style. And it's awesome to watch. And yeah, coming up next, we got one more from Ria Hall. And e tātou mā, yeah, so heaps to look forward to, even though we didn't get to see Tahu and hear Tahu jam in the studio, today. It's okay. A couple of weeks' time they'll be in. Loads of kōrero to come. New band members to interview into the show. Very special band members too. So, yeah, e tātou mā, we've got everything happening right here on Te Nina Hawaikirangi e tātou mā. So yeah, happening all on here in the next few weeks, actually for the months to come as well. All the gigs, the debriefs, the jam sessions in the studio, it's all happening right here. The pō kōrero, e kawe mai ana i ngā kōrero katoa no. Te Yahweh atua. Te Yahweh atua. Whakamoe miti. Whakamoe miti. Whakamoe miti. I te ingoa te iehua. Amen.